So Blumberg Capital is a traditional early stage venture fund investing in pre-seed, seed, and A rounds. We have offices across San Francisco, New York, Miami, and Tel Aviv. And we're currently investing out of our fifth fund after being around for almost 30 years. It's a $225 billion fund, and we invest $500,000, $5 million into early stage companies. And because the way we invest in our thesis, we like to get involved, roll up our sleeves, and take a more significant ownership stake. So we typically do lead rounds at the early stage. About a third of our portfolio is in Israel. And so, in the context of LATAM investing, we have experience helping companies bridge that gap into the US market. Although we are looking for companies that are seeking, in the short term or at least in the medium term, not necessarily such a long-term goal, to enter the US. We're looking for companies where the US is their focus market, not necessarily companies that are building solely for LATAM. And our investment thesis is around B2B software companies. We don't do consumer, and rarely, but we would consider B2B2C. But the B2B has to be that core, agreement and core business principle there. We're looking for companies with a strong technical moat. So typically in the founding team, we obviously, at the stage that we're investing, we'd want the founding team to be fully, full-time. And we'd also like to see a technical co-founder be involved in the business. I know one of the other funds mentioned we also are seeking C Corps. So that's something that we can also help with, at least in the short term, to help get up to speed if that's of concern. But we are looking for companies that will adopt that. Very, very exciting to, with our new office in Miami. David Blumberg from Blumberg Capital, the founder managing partner, moved down at the end of 2020. And we're establishing a base in Miami with over 6 individuals on the team down there. So we're certainly looking to branch more into the LATAM region and help companies bridge that gap into the US, applying some of those principles. We typically end up taking a board seat by virtue of leading the rounds that we invest in. And with that, we bring all of our resources to bear. So we have help on when it comes to hiring. We have business partnerships across Fortune 2000, let's call it, chief information and chief information security officers. We call it our CIO council. And that's really helpful from business development and customer acquisition perspective, especially, as I mentioned, on the B2B side. And just to mention sectors, we're sector agnostic within B2B. We obviously have concentrations in our portfolio across fintech, cybersecurity, health tech, data and infrastructure, supply chain logistics. But we tend to keep an open mind and be fairly agnostic. So we have companies in our portfolio as wide ranging as rare earth mineral mining, software where they're applying AI and ML to geophysics data, which is obviously relevant for LATAM. In a number of countries. We also have an investment in a company that's doing injury prevention for professional sports teams. So I give those examples to just say that, we keep an open mind. We're not necessarily only investing in one or two verticals. So as long as it meets the criteria that we're looking for, I'd be more than happy to take a look and meet many of you. Thanks, Israel.